guys, so this is going to be a mat workout that is intended for somebody who's just starting Pilates or is maybe returning after an injury. Maybe prenatal would work too, or it's always good to go back to basics. But either way, it's going to be gentle and have a lot of options and progressions. So we're going to start lying on our back and take your time to get there. Adjust your pants as needed. And then you're going to plant your feet on the ground and you're going to find about hip distance apart. And then from here, I'm going to get a little bit graphic with you so that you can see. But you want your tailbone heavy so that you have a nice neutral spine, meaning my hand could slide under my low back if I really wanted it to, but it doesn't have to. All right? And then from there, we're just going to work pelvic tuck. So I'm going to take my hands up just so that you can see. You're going to exhale, tuck the tailbone, imprint the low back, hold, and then release the tailbone all the way heavy, find that arch. It's an exhale to tuck, and inhale to release. If you wanted a little something to prop your head up, maybe a towel or nothing huge, but if that just feels more comfortable for you, that's fine. But we're just tucking and releasing. I'm going to bring my hands down here. So a few things to think about here. Let the tuck come from your low belly, like you're zipping up a pair of pants. I wouldn't know. I haven't put on pants with a waistband in a long time. But as opposed to squeezing your butt, right? So in a perfect world, our butt hasn't even kicked in yet. It's just low belly. All right, let's do two more. And one more. So you can always do more of those if that feels good. It's a great low belly warm up. Then we're gonna move to our tabletop work. So hands are down by your side. Legs are hip distance apart. That's a fist distance between your knees and your feet. And we're just gonna work on a tabletop march. So I'm gonna find that neutral spine, not a drastic arch, but I've got a little bit of a gap between my low back and the mat. And I'm gonna bring my right leg into tabletop where my knee is over my hip, ankle is in line with my knee, and then lower down. And then switch, and then down. So if you find while you're doing this that it puts some strain on your low back, that your low back doesn't feel great, you can tuck the tailbone and do the same exercise, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. Meet your body where it's at. So just moving really mindfully, coming into that perfect tabletop each time. All right, let's go for two. I like an exhale to lift. One. All right. Now the next time your right leg is in tabletop, you're gonna hold it there. I'm gonna reach that right leg long to a high diagonal, almost like it's in line with my other leg, so it looks like you only have one leg, and then I'm gonna bring it back in, stopping it in tabletop. Exhale to reach, inhale, return, or the opposite. Just don't hold your breath. Extend and back. Extend and back. And maybe bring your hands on your low belly. Feel how it's working to help your leg to do this movement for 3, 2, and 1. Come back into tabletop, lower that down. We'll go to the other side. So we find that tabletop on the left, and then you reach and extend. Keep moving like that. I'm going to talk to you about something real quick. So it's possible that as you're doing this, you're like, man, my hip is really getting tired, my quad really hurts. That's okay. We're working your hip flexor, we're working your quad. But our goal is to start to transfer some of that work more into the abdominals than just the quad. And that might happen over time. If you're just coming back, give it a little bit of time. It's okay to use your legs a little bit more than your abs here. For 2, and 1. Come on back, place it down. Now, depending where you are in your journey, you're going to continue doing an alternating march, but if you're feeling up for it or are interested in trying, bring your right leg in tabletop, use your abdominals, control your left leg into tabletop. Maybe that's your challenge. Maybe that's where you live today. If you want more of a challenge, try lowering the shape of one leg, bring it back, lower the shape of the other, and bring it back. Whichever works for you. So we could do that march where you started your feet on the ground. You could hold a tabletop for a few seconds and release, or you could do this march. Whatever we're doing, we're going to do it for about 10 more seconds. And whatever position you're in, your head and neck are relaxed here. They're not getting involved. We didn't invite them to the party. All right. And then you'll take a break. Whether that's hugging your knees into your chest, keeping your feet down, maybe letting your knees go side to side, whatever feels good for you. So then you're going to roll onto one side. For me, it's going to be my left. So let's roll onto your left side if you've got that. And you're going to find a comfortable way to lay down. All right, so that might mean, for me, that means my head is propped up. Some people, they like it all the way down. If you still got that pillow, you could even bring the pillow underneath. So you start stacking your spine. Ankles, under hips, under shoulders. And then from here, it's a verb. I want you to banana your feet forward, just bringing them slightly in front of your hips. You're going to lift your top leg up to hip height and then bring it back so it's in line with the rest of the body. So now my right leg is lifted, my left leg is just a little bit forward of that, just for stability. And then I'm going to lift and lower that right leg. Just lift and lower, lift and lower. Now if you're getting back into Pilates, this might be a lot, right? This might be a lot of leg work. You might need to take a break. Cool, take a break. Whatever you need for your body, listen to your body. It's telling you things for a reason. 3, 2, and 1. Now let's keep it in line with your hip. Keep your hip stacked. You're going to start to kick that foot forward, getting a little bit of a hamstring stretch, and then reach that foot back behind you, get a little bit of a hip stretch. Exhale forward, inhale back. Keep moving like this if you can, but I want you to think about from the hip to the shoulder, crown of the head. This is not moving. My top half is still. I'm just moving my lower half. If you find that you compensate by rocking forward and backwards, your range of motion is going to want to be smaller. Let's go for 3 more. 3, low belly draws in to come forward. And 2. And the last one. Good. Lower that down. That was it. Let's go to the other side. So press yourself up. We will hinge over to the other side. All right, so take your time to set yourself up in a straight line. Head, shoulders, it sounds like I'm singing the song, hips and ankles all underneath. And then you banana your feet forward a little bit. Lift your top leg to hip height and then draw it back so it's in line with the rest of your body. Lift and lower. So a fun little experiment here, I say fun, I get that I have a weird definition of fun, is bringing your top hand right on your left side, feeling those obliques kick in to help you lift your leg and to help stabilize. Just fun to know they're there and they're helping. All right, let's go for 6. Try to relax that bottom leg. It's so easy to grip it. 5, 4, I say that because I was gripping. 3, you're not alone. 2, and 1. Hold the leg at hip height. Start to kick forward, and then a little reach back. Exhale, forward, inhale, back. Exhale, and inhale. Focusing on the reach back here, guys. Really getting a stretch through that hip. Let's go for 3. 2, I totally did that breath backwards from what I taught you earlier. Last one, just reinforcing the point that it doesn't matter, just don't hold your breath. Lower that down. Press yourself all the way up. We're gonna finish with a little bit of seated ab work. This is tough, this is some deep ab work. So you could do this seated on a bench if seated on the ground doesn't feel good for you. So you're gonna be seated, bending your knees, planting your feet, trying to find a tall spine to start. Keep your hands behind you. Tuck your tailbone, round back into a C curve, and then control it up. So it's not very big, we're just rounding back to where you feel your low belly drawing towards your spine, and then growing tall. Maximum I would go is to where you have straight arms, okay? That's just a nice guide. Let's go for 3, and back, 2, and back. Now last last one, let's go back and see if we can hang out there. From there, reach a hand forward, bring it back behind the leg. Other hand forward. So if this feels like too much, keep working on that C curve. You don't need to add this yet. Let's do 2 more each. Right and left. 1 more each. Right and left. Come on up to top. Last thing, and then I'll talk you through a quick stretch. Round back into your C curve. Reach one hand forward if you've got that. From here, rotate a little bit in that direction. Come on back. Same hand, 2 more. Rotate and back. Last one. And back. Hand comes behind the leg. Grow tall. Other side. Round it back. Reach. Rotate. I should have said this earlier. If it feels better to have straight legs, you could do that if your hips feel a little bit cramped. Whatever feels good on your body. And then come on up to tall. Take any stretch that feels good. A butterfly might feel good. Anything like that. So if you have a band, oh, that was a great noise, wasn't it? So if you have a band, I'm not gonna do the whole thing here, but I'm gonna talk you through it really quick. So a band, a towel, a magic circle, any of those, you're just gonna take a quick stretch here. So you're gonna be lying on your back with a hamstring stretch to start. Shoulders are down the back. The thing you wanna think about is dropping your butt down to the mat, reaching your heel up to the ceiling. That's step 1. I've got a little bit too much tension on that. So just letting the strap really hold your leg. Then, and you'll probably hold it longer, I'm just gonna move through these pretty quickly. Your opposite hand holds the strap and pulls the leg ever so slightly across the body. Now you're getting a stretch to the outside of that leg that is up. You might need to bend your knee a bit. It's gonna be a pretty intense stretch. If you feel if it kind of catches your breath, you're doing it correctly, but maybe back off a little bit. That's the happy zone. If you're not feeling it enough, really reach through the leg and straighten. If your leg is shaking, that's normal. And then you would do that on the other side. But you'd hold those for a little bit. Okay? All right, there's your intro back to Pilates. All right, bye guys.